5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 1 of MBCGame Hero vs KT Rolster. Today we have Tempest as the red Protoss in the 7 o'clock position and Tiny as the teal Zerg in the 5 o'clock position. And this map is Beltway. Tempest is sort of a mediocre-ish Protoss on KT Rolster. Not particularly good. He's only got a 47% win rate, which is okay. I mean, it's not horrendous or anything. On the other hand, Tiny is a completely new player. He's only played like 4 games or so, you know, we got a rookie here, and let's see how the rookie today does against Tempest, who's played a decent number of games, like 80-something games. And the map is Beltway, which is pretty even in Protoss versus Terran. And it looks like Tempest is sending out Probe to probably just put a forward pylon down. I mean, you do not have a forge fast expand type build against Terran, of course, but putting down a forward pylon, you can put your gateway down a bit more in front and maybe allow you to, I mean, he might choose to do some harassing early with Zealots, like Bisu did against Flash in the Pro League Finals, where Bisu won, I mean not Pro League Finals, the Winners League Finals, where he won that game with some clutch Zealot harass. So, you know, I for one would love to see some more of that sort of play as opposed to the standard Dragoon type push. It's good to have a bit of variation, and you know, that harass was fantastic. I mean, Bisu used it to beat Flash, so you know, I haven't seen anybody else do that sort of build recently, though. Looks like Tiny here putting down his barracks, so he's probably going to go factory expand. Tempest spelling the wrong direction. He's going to find Tiny last. So yeah, here's hoping for a good game of StarCraft. In any case, MBCGame Hero has recently traded away Light to Wunjing. So, the only decent-ish player, I mean, the only decent-ish / good player they have would be C, who I would say is a good player in Pro League. But besides C, I'm not so sure they have anyone else who's a reliable winner. It looks like Tiny's going to scout in the correct direction, so he's going to find Tempest. He's going to see the buildings in front, including Cybernetics Core, is a little bit of a wall-off. I wonder if he's doing this to, like, set up for preventing vulture harass eventually. That's a little silly, though, if that's the point, because you can always use pylons to do it. But I guess he knows better than I do, Tempest. As for MBCGame Hero, they do not have too many players, I feel, who are particularly reliable in Pro League. And this may be a bit of a problem. I don't know why they traded away Light. Light was sort of arguably their best player, or at least equal to, looks like Tiny putting down Supply Depot just to block off Tempest's exit. That's pretty clever. Tempest only has 1 Zealot out. This Zealot's not going to do anything. I mean, you know, if worst comes to worst, Tiny can always pull off a few more SCVs. And it looks like with 3 Marines, he's going to be able to ward away the Zealot, and the Dragoon is going to ward away this SCV. But it finishes a good deal of the Supply Depot. Looks like 1 in half. I mean, Tiny's going to cancel it as soon as he's ready. But, you know, this little delay is going to be at least irritating. It looks like Tempest is researching Dragoon range. He's not canceling it. I thought that might be clever, you know, spin the range just so Tiny gets a clear view of it, and then, yeah, cancel it. But it doesn't work when you put your Cybernetics Core down in front, because Tiny can just send an SCV to double check, like he's doing right now, to make sure there are no shenanigans going on. So I really don't know why Tempest is putting his core in front. Vulture out for Tiny. He's probably going to try to sneak by here. And looks like Tempest is sending a few of his early units over to Tiny's base just to park outside and maybe get a few hits on Dragoons, something like that. The Vulture is coming through, but I don't think is going to do too much damage. Dragoon coming out here for Tempest with a nice blockade on the cliff. It's going to be able to kill this Vulture. Vulture kills a Pro, but... Oh, wait! No. Oh, okay, the Vulture manages to... Rather, Tempest manages to kill the Vulture. If it got through, it might get some more probe kills. So, Tiny is sort of blocked a little bit. Oh, in his base, he's got a tank out, so he's going to be able to push and probably establish a perimeter. I haven't seen a command center going down, so he's not going fast expand. He's put down a starport. That means he's likely to get drop and try for some sort of vulture drop. I'm not sure if I agree this decision. Tempest already put down his nexus because these vulture drops, rarely are they particularly successful in terms of dealing a crippling blow. You really need to do a lot of damage. I mean, you can kill 5 or 6 probes, but compared with getting another expansion, that's not the sort of damage that's really worth it. Looks like Tempest putting down his robotics facility here. Tempest also picking away at that tempo near his base, inside his base rather, just to open up that northern pathway for himself. So yeah, it looks like I'm not really sure what Tiny's hoping to do this game. Any sort of drop, I feel, would be ill-advised, but it looks like that is what he's going for. He is just put down his command center. It's going to be significantly later than Tempest's expansion, so he's going to be a bit behind in economy for now. If he can, if he has ungodly Nada-esque Vulture Micro, then his decision to go drop will be fully vindicated. But so far, his Vulture play has failed to impress me this game. Failing to sneak up into the base, for instance, not getting any successful scout through. He's tried at least twice, I remember, both times failing. Tempest putting down a Nexus and hiding his probe in a corner there. Nexus in a 9 o'clock position. So there's a nice little perimeter of mines that Tiny has managed to put down, so that's always nice, but with observers out soon, it's not going to be too much of an issue. Now, here comes the dropship. He's loading up a tank and 4 Marines. He was planning to drop behind that temple position, but you can see how it's ridiculous easily to kill it. It took, what, 1 Dragoon and 1 Zealot sort of picking away at it for a little bit. Okay, there were 3 Dragoons and a Zealot, but easy to kill. Tempest is just going to move this force up and slaughter this particular drop. Tiny sees it. He managed to pick off a probe, but he's going to lose this tank for not really any significant gains. So, failed drop here by Tiny. This is sort of, oh, Dragoon's trying to intercept drop it. This is a sort of play, that amateurs might do. But how did he think this was going to work against a pro? He's got a dropship here with some vultures. He managed to drop at the 9 o'clock base of Tempest. He doesn't have anything there, though. So as soon as Tempest moves up a few Dragoons to clear the area out, it's not going to be a big deal. These vultures are just sort of picking away at the shields of Nexus, but it's not really going to accomplish much of anything. Well, Tempest is forced to... Wait! Whoa! He's actually doing a lot more damage to the Nexus than I thought he would. He might actually kill this Nexus. If that's the case, then suddenly Tiny's decision to go drop would be fully vindicated. Nexus only 30-something HP. 2 Marines left. The Nexus goes down just as the Marines die. That was some nice play there by Tiny. Just the right amount of units to get that done, sending a few more vultures in the main to do some damage. So with that, I would argue that both sides' economies have just evened up. Tempest has wasted a significant amount of resources and time putting down that expansion. He's forced to kill it and a pylon. So Tempest, unfortunately, his walling not working out for him. And kind of sloppy bit there by Tempest, I feel. He should have been more proactive in clearing the mines. If he were more active out in the field, I feel he would be able to get to his expansion in time to save it, because it was literally by like 2 or 3 Dragoon shots that the Nexus went down. With those extra shots, he would have killed the Marines fast enough. Tiny just scanning here in Tempest's base. So it looks like we're going to have a bit of a long game, with neither side having a clear advantage of any sort. This side of the game is just going to transition into the longer game. Here we have Tempest with an observer seeing what's going on in Tiny's base. Always nice when Protoss is there. This is what I mean, Tiny with these vultures putting down 2 mines near the choke. Ooh, nice Nice use of the Shadow and the Dragoon. That's the sort of micro that pro gamers, they're doing this and they're macroing and they're paying attention to what's going on the map and moving their armies around. And Tempest is a mediocre-ish pro gamer. So, you know, even the mediocre-ish pro gamers are vastly superior to any sort of amateur that you might see. Although the bad pro gamers can be disappointing, to say the least. Anyway, Tempest with 2 armies moving about in the middle of the field. Just going to try to intercept some of these vultures that Tiny is sending out here and there. He's up to 5 factories and 2 with machine shops soon. Tempest doesn't look like he's getting any sort of tech. I don't see Arbiter tech. I don't see Carrier tech. Arbiters are always good to go for, I think. Carriers, I don't know. They're good to use like once in a very rare while, just as a surprise factor, but I would probably not do it very regularly, and I especially would not do any sort of 2-base carrier type play. It looks like Tiny is moving out his expansion. Tempest with the Observer here sees it, though, so he knows this expansion is going up. It looks like Tiny is flowing this up to the cliff-ish area in the middle, so I would say that is the bottom right cliff expansion. It's a little bit hard to call that. And it's easy to defend as a Terran. You know, with tanks and mines near this choke, it's going to be difficult for Protoss to break. Shuttle coming here probably for some zealot bombs, but it's going to get whirled away by this here turret. Tempest is content to respawn by expanding it again in the 1 o'clock position. Always a reasonable response to the Terran putting down another expansion. If you can't really go attack it, expanding yourself is always a good choice.